I despise Doc Rivers with every fiber of my being. He's like, oh, I'm a top 15 coach. Ooh, I coached all these playoff games. You wanna know why you coached all those playoff games? You coached all those playoff games because all of your playoff series went to 6 or 7, largely by your own incompetence. That's why. That's why you've been gifted talented rosters year after year, and their talent is able to cover up your ineptitude as a head coach. And so that's why you're able to get these wins. You are what they thought Bill Jackson was. Bill Jackson was able to get Kobe and Shaq together. Bill Jackson was able to work with Jordan and Pippen. I could give you Jordan and Pippen, Kobe and Shaq, and I fucking guarantee you, that Doc won't win 6 championships in a row. Definitely won't have 2 separate Laker dynasties, including the Laker dynasty with Paul Gasol and Kobe Bryant. I guarantee you that Doc wouldn't have even 1/3 of the success with the Jordan Bulls and Kobe Lakers. Wanna know why? There's one single quote. So, we start the game with DeAndre Jordan, the worst defensive big man maybe in NBA history. That's not hyperbole. The guy can't defend you, me. I'm 6 foot, 5'11". I could be in the block. I could score on DeAndre Jordan. I'm not kidding. I'm seriously not kidding. I know that there was that famous YouTube video of Brian Scalabrine owning a guy up the street. But to do that, you have to actually move your feet. DeAndre Jordan doesn't care to move his feet. I'm talking, he could probably beat the guy to the spot. He's probably closer to the spot, and he still won't fucking move. So anyway, you start the game with him, you're down double digits because, again, he can't guard anybody. So think about this. Pretend you're exposure for a minute, and you see DeAndre Jordan, who has no right to be on an NBA floor, in the game. What do? You run high, pick and roll with DeAndre's man. They do this anyway because their man happens to be fucking Bam Adebayo. I'm telling you, Greg Melly, myself, DJ Eastwood, Vaughn, we all knew that was going to happen. The moment that DeAndre got in the game, that is exactly the mismatch that was going to happen. Because they do it by default anyway, but you're putting the worst defensive player ever on him. It's like, come on, man. The Heat don't have great offensive options, so the least thing you could do is to put the worst defender on an athletic big man and allow them to use what they use anyway. It's like pouring fire onto the gasoline. It's just stupid. It's mind-numbingly stupid. Now, we start there not only because DeAndre Jordan is terrible, not only because he was +8 whenever he wasn't on the floor, but the presser just started, and the reporters, because, everyone is a human being with eyes. I know that Doc Rivers thinks he's basketball nirvana, and he thinks he sees shit that no other person sees. I know that he thinks, oh my God, I got all these coaching wins by being the worst coach to ever close out a series. Oh, don't worry, because you're putting DeAndre Jordan in. Oh, I'm going to get to it. The reporters asked a very obvious basic question. So you're going to rethink your starter. And this son of a bitch, this jackass, this ignoramus, who will never evaluate what's happening on the floor in real time, this buffoon said the following. I don't know how to embed tweets on a video, but Doc Rivers basically said this: we are going to start DeAndre Jordan whether you like it or not. A head coach in the National Basketball Association spoke like some 13-year-old on Twitter in a press report. Number one, that fucking happened. Number two, that is incredibly stubborn and childish and a temper tantrum that makes Draymond Green's complaint about the ejection heard around the world look rather tame. Thirdly, That's why I want you fired. Your inability to see the floor, your ignorance to what's happening on the court is an offense in of itself. This is the same problem that I had with Brett Brown, remember, with the Volnetto thing. Your inability to watch the game is literally destroying your team. DeAndre Jordan is a do-not-play coaching decision. It's not whether I like him or not. It's not whether a reporter likes him or not. He's not good enough. That's it, Doc. He's just not good enough. That's it. That's the end of the discussion. It's not a discussion. He is not good enough. You like him, there is nothing to like. Coaching staff, there is nothing to like. He's not going to rotate. He's not going to stop the ball. He's not going to be physical at the point of attack defensively, even if a big man were to go into his chest. What does DeAndre Jordan actually on tape? What are you watching with your video game coordinator that suggests to you, even remotely, that he's a good NBA player? Period. It doesn't matter what jersey he's wearing. The Lakers cut him. The Nets cut him. He can't play basketball anymore. I don't know in how many ways we can tell Doc Rivers he is no longer capable of playing NBA basketball. However, as angering as that offensive statement is, for its sheer stupidity, for its 13-year-old mentality, the worst offense goes to the idiot who signed him, Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey. Let me ask you something, Daryl. You drafted two big men in a row. You drafted Paul Reed in the last draft. And then in this draft, you drafted Charles Basie, who I'm super high on, who I had a first-round grade on, and Philip Petrusev, who's over in Europe and he's playing good basketball. He's not important for this discussion, but you have the bird rights of one big man, and you have another big man who is really fucking good, in my opinion. Really fucking good. I thought he was good out of Kentucky. He's only gotten better because I know the supply the Doc Rivers, but young players can play better and improve better. I don't know if no one sent the ignoramus that memo yet, but yeah, young players can get better. So I am very high on Basie for different reasons than Paul Reed. Both of them are interesting prospects. Paul Reed is very shallow. When I'm looking at what Charles Basie did in the summer league, and even that, he played 1 minute, in a game without Joel Embiid, in a game where DeAndre Jordan is the one defensive big man in NBA history. 1 minute, one fucking minute. And in that 1 minute, the kid catches the ball from the free-throw line extended, gets contact, puts the ball up, and looks like Joel Embiid for a minute. And I'm not comparing him with the players. I actually think more Zach Randolph. But that's not the point. The point is, he's athletic enough to make that play. If you had started him, hell, you could have Paul Reed started out Charles Basie in the backup. I don't care what order you do it. If you play both of them and not the old men, you're in a position to win. You were like, oh, I don't care about the victory tour. It's not a victory tour. It's putting your best players in position to win. It's about putting your ego aside and saying the 13 and 11-year veterans aren't doing it. They're washed. They're old. It's over. They need to retire. That's it for those guys. That's it for DeAndre Jordan and Paul Millsap. It's over. Well, both of those guys, their NBA career is done. In fact, the best thing that they can do right now for this basketball team is that both of them are to simultaneously retire right here, right now. So that Doc doesn't have a choice in the matter. That would be the best possible outcome. That's not going to happen, obviously. No one's going to just throw away free paychecks because Doc Rivers is a jackass. They're not going to do that. But if they were truly, altruistic and they made enough money in their careers, you would just piss that money away to get the Sixers the best chance. Because it befuddles me. Charles Basie, the guy who I would have drafted Charles Basie over Jaden Springer. I said that previously. Charles Basie was a guy rated by most draft people in the 20s, and I agree with them. I would have drafted him over Springer. You got him in the second round, that's great. But the second round pick doesn't change the pedigree. He's 6'10", 235, big, physical, muscular, has great touch around the rim, and he only played 1 minute. Oh, and oh yes, we'll get to the rest briefly, but the whole center thing is why Doc Rivers must be fired. Jordan Yang missed a bunch of shots. That happens. Tyreek Maxey got cooked off ball defensively against Tyler Hero, but offensively, Tyreek Maxey was pretty good. For attacking the rim, trying to get something happening. James Harden ISO ball is not a thing, but considering that James Harden spent like 1/3 of the minutes with the aforementioned DeAndre Jordan, you can guess how that ended. Not well. The series is over. It's over because Doc Rivers is a jackass. He confirmed he's going to start DeAndre Jordan. You were down 10 in 5 minutes! Or even 3.5. Only someone who refuses to change, to adapt, to just look at what he's seeing could say something that ignorant. That is a fireable statement. Or I'm not a Sixer fan. Why should I be a fan of this team? Give me a good reason. The only reason I'd be a fan of this team at this point is Joel Embiid. I'm a fan of Joel Embiid. I'm not a fan of the Sixer franchise. Doc, that's what your comments do to me. There is a difference between a player and the damn logo. I will support Joel Embiid through hell and back. I will support Joel Embiid through life and death itself. What I am not going to do is sit here and support an organization that sticks DeAndre Jordan in my 2 eye sockets. So you have a choice, Doc, for the whole Delaware Valley. Either you get off your fucking ego, or you can just take your suitcase and go to LA already. You avoided the sweep, the reverse sweep. You avoided historic embarrassment, but that doesn't change the fact that you are a historically embarrassing head coach. Take your package, go to LA. Their team with a bunch of old men. They fit you perfectly. You don't have to worry about young players with upside. You don't have to worry about that. You got a bunch of old men in the Lakers. You are a perfect match in heaven. Perfect match in heaven. So before that Lakers job is occupied by somebody, go to LA. Go there, stay there, never come back to the city. Never come back to the city. Because you are a terrible head coach. You are an absolutely terrible head coach. And some might say that an example other than the fact of the center situation. Okay, sure. You mentioned the Paul Reed had the foul difficulties. He was energetic defensively tonight, and he was giving you a lot of energy there. You had Bam Adebayo on an island against him. Send a double team. Even a feint. Make Bam Adebayo think about it. Make Bam Adebayo put the ball on the floor. Bam isn't Joel. He's not Jokic. He's not Carl Anthony Towns. He's Bam Adebayo. Send him a double. Get him off the block. Don't put your foul-prone center in a one-on-one situation. But amazingly, obviously not. That's what caused the fifth foul. You never saw him again. But one of what I did see in the following minute, I saw a double team on the perimeter that led to a Tyler Hero three-pointer. So let me get this straight. You will not double the ball on the top of the high post. You will not make Bam Adebayo make a decision. But you will double a perimeter player. You want to know why doubling a perimeter player, especially that way, is harder than doubling the block? There's less room in the block than there is on the perimeter. You put John B on the nail, so you know this! Enough. Fire Doc Rivers. Fire this ignorance, this buffoon. Fire him and get yourself in a position. Or I'm just going to root for Joel Embiid the player or root for Tyreek Maxey the player. But I am not going to give a horribly ran organization the satisfaction. From Colangelo to Brand and now Morey. Horrible running an organization. We have a 35-year-old or a 34-year-old in James Harden. We don't know if he's ever going to be a highly effective player again. But we do know that many people think that we should maybe supermax this guy. Even though it doesn't look like he's going to be a high-level scorer in the NBA at this point ever again. And I think it's time to really literally admit that. So, this is dark. How dark is this? If I could compare Sixer history, Remember the Charles Barkley trade, and then after that, that's where we are. We are a Rick Mahone moment away from just pure despair. Gotta get this right, and I have no trust in Daryl Morey's ability to get this right. Because Ron 2.0, he was on it from the beginning. I like Tyler Hero. I'm sorry, not Tyler Hero, but he is a good player though. But I like Tyrese Halliburton in the draft process 2 years ago. When he was slipping all the way in the 9 in Sacramento, would I have traded up or tried to trade up to get Tyrese Halliburton? You bet I would have. There was so much I love about Tyrese Halliburton in the game. He's 6'5". He's 205 pounds. You could switch him on multiple defenders. He could shoot the free ball. He could penetrate to the rim and get to the rim. A lot of this sounds like a young, I don't know, James Harden? Maybe? But no. We gotta go with the old guy because that will give us the best, quote-unquote, analytically driven chance to win. Now the truth is, you're fucked. You gotta get this 35-year-old extension. You have no ability to add any youth. But even if you did, would Doc Rivers ever play it? You're fucked. You're fucked, you're fucked, you're fucked. You're fucked in the short term, you're fucked in the long term. Series is over. Doc's a jackass. This is 6 of the universe, and I am defeated. It's over. I'm signing off.